And we're off.
Ah, we're actually getting a standard start. I was thinking it was going to be open. Okay, so we're going to get a mandatory weapon from the uncle, and that's going to be not the sword, but it's going to be something else. That is an excellent early find in the first chest.
I'm not
Magic
really
blade.
sure how that would be effective as a weapon, but I mean, wait, what? No. Okay. That's not a weapon.
I don't think there are any like gorgons in the Zelda series, so you can't get them to look in the mirror and turn themselves to stone, unfortunately.
I mean, doesn't Link use it as a shield? Oh wait, no, that's the third shield upgrade. I was thinking reflect like lasers and stuff. Hey, it's a red cane.
So probably a bit nicer to get through the escape sequence with a red cane as opposed to the blue cane. You've got quite a bit more magic at your disposal. It's a lot more efficient with your magic, and you can of course pick up the block and thread around and kill multiple enemies with it. So it's going to be a fairly smooth escape as long as things don't go wrong and they miss their blocks or anything like that.
I mean, maybe. I don't. I think all the runners are skilled enough that they won't waste their magic too much. What's Leslie doing?
He's hoping to kill a couple of guards here, hoping for an early bomb drop. So if he gets an early bomb drop, that will cover the rest of his escape needs. He's not finding anything here, though.
No, just some cash.
Gotta say, that magic mirror makes this a good. It's going to make this a really fast escape because you get to Zelda cell, you pick up Zelda.
Leslie
to
is
start.
really
See that standard.
really grinding for that bomb drop.
Yeah, so far, all he's picking up is cash.
That's not the worst thing you can find.
He can buy bombs of cash. He just don't have any like shops down here in the escape. This isn't the kind of RPG where you get like a guy stuck in a cell saying, "Oi, help me escape and I'll sell you all these things." But like, if there's a guy stuck in a cell and you're helping him escape and he still sells you stuff, why would you let him out in the first place? That's just extortion. JRPG
Well,
tropes.
maybe he'll give you a discount.
20 rupees in the boomerang chest. So those bombs aren't turning up yet.
I mean, Leslie just got 4, so.
Yeah. So he did, yeah. Okay, so Leslie's covered. Although he has lost most of his.
Never mind, he's got max.
An 8 bomb drop. Okay.
Well, I'm not sure if it was worthwhile, but we'll see. It's an interesting start to the run.
So our other 3 runners here are preserving their magic by just throwing pots at the ball and chain guard here. 2 pots will take him out. In the chest we have the map, so there's going to be 3 items in the path of escape. So those bombs are going to be pretty important.
That's true.
Now, here we see Devio has taken the mirror to the front. So has Cube, so has Dace Cloud. But sometimes, I have seen a few people forget this and just like walk all the way to the front because you rarely if ever expect to have mirror for escape.
I am actually waiting for one of them to accidentally hit the mirror in the sewer. Okay, they all switched off of it, so.
Yeah, 3 of them still need to farm up bombs. And Leslie Flow's kind of on magic, but he's not going to be needing much magic except to kill the rat at the end to get a small key. Hard contained in the Dark Cross room. That's fairly helpful.
It's a little helpful.
Cube goes for the pile of rats in the corner in this room and does get a bomb drop from him, so he is covered. You get a whole mass of rats in that corner there, and if you have something that can take them all out, like a bomb or a cane of smile block, it's a good spot to farm. Dace Cloud has his bomb drop too, and Devio does not. So he might be using the last of his. He's got very little magic left. He might be using the last of it here to try and get that last drop, but it looks like he's out.
Gonna have to make a return trip.
In the feet. Oh, yeah, flippers. Yeah, that's an important.
I mean, there's this bomb. Oh, he managed to get one.
Oh, he did have the magic for one last cane. Okay, so he manages to get his flippers. Lucky Devio.
Everybody is safe.
So it looks like Cube's going to be our first run out of escape, just under 5 minutes 15. A lot faster than usual, but hey, that mirror helps a lot with faster times. And in the sanctuary chest, we have more bombs.
More bums! I mean, at that point, you could have just walked back in.
Okay, quick map check. We've got a red crystal at Desert Palace, a red pendant at Tower of Hera, and I think it was a crystal at Eastern Palace, but I couldn't quite confirm.
So, Cane and Flippers open up some options. Not a lot of options, but they're there. We're getting an Aga check, too. Devio wanting to see if we're gonna need to kill a certain wizard real fast.
Q pulls a lot of extra bombs from the tree. Though.
Oh, hearts. So no Aga required.
Not just yet. We might need to
yet.
get there. I think we might need to kill him for the Dark World.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think we're gonna need Aga for Dark World.
At the very least, we're going to need to find a power glove or two and a hammer if we want to get in the Dark World without killing Aga.
Flute? Flute would probably be more interesting right now. You're the one who wanted Jet.
They are going to have to find the Bugnet and Cape to actually kill Aga if they had to go that way, though, and that is quite more strenuous in trying to find two gloves or hammer, usually. Because Cape isn't useful for all that much aside from one check otherwise.
Ooh, boots.
Well, we're going fast in this seed. Got a ton of mobility available to us already with that mirror and those boots. Nothing else in the bottom of Blind's Hub, but, Boots is a fantastic find less than 8 minutes into the seed.
That's a good start to the Kakariko. That hammer's probably going to cause some anxiety, though. I think level 2 gloves will probably be found first. Before hammer.
Now, since getting past the point where you actually needed a bomb really, really badly, there have been a lot of bomb drops in the chest so far.
Oh, hey!
Hey, power gloves!
Look! The first of 2 power gloves.
So, we just need one more item to circumvent Aga now. And considering to get into Aga, we're going to need 2 items. Odds are in favor of not having to kill Aga tonight.
Now, are we going to get double gloves before we leave Kakariko? Because that would be really big. No, looks like just single gloves.
Yeah, double gloves don't do too much right now. It does get you into the Dark World portal in the north of Kakariko, but we're not going to be able to do much there yet without a moon pearl. I mean, there's still a chance for the ultimate troll, which is the moon pearl and pyramid, but it's unlikely. 20 rupees on the library ledge.
And the race game has... I can't see it because the icon's in the way, but nothing good.
It looked like arrows to me, or some kind of consumable. Something with a number attached. Fortunately, it's covered up by that item icon. It's either rupees or arrows, I believe.
Meanwhile, chat's going off about some weird mystical device called a sword? I've never heard of that. I've never heard of a sword.
It was actually a sword, because what they are talking about is a green 20, which is something that doesn't exist outside of Swordless mode. Whenever you find something that would be a sword in Swordless mode, instead gets converted into a green 20. So not your average red rupee, but 20 greens.
Cool. I didn't know that. I was mostly trying to meme.
It's kind of like a reminder of hopes and dreams, really. This could have been your sword, but instead it's just a little bit of cash. Better
Tiny
luck
bit of
next
money.
time.
I mean, for anyone who doesn't have enough for Zora, money's good, right?
Yeah, runners do have access to Zora right now, thanks to both gloves and flippers. You only need really one of them to get to Zora, but hey, either works.
Okay. And we're getting, I think I would call this the last of our big checks out of the way.
This guy taking his shortcut here to get to the Ice Rock Cave before doing his south road with Mini Moldorm and
Ooh, bottle.
And the dam.
Money for Zora. Oh, hey, there's your Moon Pearl.
I'm thinking Days Cloud is probably going to do a route down to Mini Moldorm here, then go to the dam, and then go over to Agina. Checking Agina early has become quite a bit more popular these days.
Man, if I was Q right now, I'd go straight to Zora.
Ooh, Days Cloud's using those boots actually to do some water walking here. So he's going to be checking out the Lake Highlight item. That is looked like a piece of heart to me. Didn't quite catch it.
Looked like a bomb to me.
He's going to be checking out the hobo here too, and then probably just going straight over to Zora rather than doing the south route with Mini Moldor and the dam. Bombs from the hobo. Perhaps he was to blow up the bridge.
Hobo terrorist? Okay. Another play Dazed could probably make is he's close to Eastern. Now, yeah, he doesn't have the money for Zora right now.
And he doesn't have a Moon Pearl either because he skipped Mini Moldor. This is a bit unfortunate for him. It's going to cost him a little bit of time. Unless like Zora has like a fantastic item.
Ooh, okay, that's... I would count that.
Yep, that's a pretty fantastic item. That'll get you in Dark World. It won't for Days Cloud because he doesn't have Moon Pearl yet, so he'll still have to go to Mini Moldor for that. But yep, that's your Dark World access right there. Goodbye, Arcanim. Bombs on the ledge, and because he doesn't have cash, he is skipping out on Zora.
I think we're gonna find out what Zora is pretty soon. Chat, calm down. Aga isn't dead yet. We've got at least another hour. Maybe 2. Okay. So, bets on Zora?
Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut?
Yeah, I prefer a pepperoni pizza myself.
I'm a big fan of sausage. Meme that as you will.
$20.
$20?
The absolute smallest of refunds. Well, not quite the smallest of refunds, but you know, it's a very, very, very small refund for your 500 rupees.
It's a rebate.
Okay, Days Cloud now has his Moon Pearl.
Okay, so now we get to see what kind of play Days Cloud's gonna make. Because he's in position to, you know what? Do absolutely nothing. I'm wrong.
I'm pretty sure he's going to check out Agina right after doing the dam here.
That'd be interesting. We got our first person going into Dark World.
And keeps taking the option of going to Shahasrara in the eastern area. I don't
Finally
think he'd be
getting
diving into Palace, though.
Maybe. I mean, there's still a couple items you can get. I'm not sure how useful that would be this early, but
There's a cape in the chess game in
that's
Feasel
a
Outcast.
book.
Ooh,
Half magic. Ooh, sexy.
so as well as stacking a lot of goods in his back. So this cloud, yep, he's heading straight to Agino after checking out the ledge, which was just some bombs. Leslie Pro is throwing bombs at King Zora.
Now, here's the thing: does Agina have the goods? Is Agina stacked? I don't think Agina's stacked. Oh,
He's at Silver Hours.
That's pretty stacked.
Yeah, Bro is necessary. We do need to clear Eastern.
Agina's just sitting in there waiting for Ganon to come.
Now, I don't know if you managed to catch it, but Cube was checking out the. He's making an early trip to the graveyard thanks to those boots, and he found a hook shot in the King's Tomb.
Ooh, that's nice. Early hookshot pretty much opens up all of Dark World, doesn't it? And Death Mountain.
Well, you can get most of Dark World already because he used the Titan Smiths to get into the Dark World portal north of Kakariko, and you don't need to hookshot across the river to get to the east portion. You just need to. You can swim, in fact, because you've got flippers. It does get you across Death Mountain, though, but none of our runners really have access to Death Mountain yet. They can get up there, but not quite in logic without a flute or a mirror. I mean, a flute or a lamp.
Where did Devio pick up the armor?
No, I honestly don't know. I think it must have been in the Village of Outcasts.
Maybe. This is one of those things where the runners have all taken vastly different paths, and it's a little hard to keep track.
Yeah, Leslie Burr's going to check out the cape ledge here. He actually has the capes for.
Dazed is wandering around Skull Woods. I don't think he's gotten much value out of it, though.
It looked like Pod was one of our remaining 5-6 crystals, so we're going to be hunting down that bow still.
Yeah. And Mothra has all of the goodies on it in the back of the Skullwoods. How do you pronounce that? It's just Star Wars? Zetar Wars. Bugnut is progression right now. Bugnut is required to kill Aghanim. You cannot beat the game without the Bugnut.
Is this an all dungeon seed? Because if it was, then we don't really need to kill Aghanim.
Oh, you can use hammer to deflect the... Oh. I like my version better.
Oh yeah, Bagatoo in Swordless, you can totally just swat away the projectiles with a hammer.
I don't believe you.
It's only a thing in Swordless though, and honestly it's pretty nasty with a hammer because of a small hitbox.
You know what? I'm just going to keep my illusion. You need the Bugnut, because otherwise, it's, Hammer just seems kind of boring. For Aga. There's no swag. There's no wow. I ignore your reality and substitute my own.
And Leslie Poe making a quick stop by the potion shop to pick up a blue potion for something, and he's going for an early catfish check. This could be something, because we are looking for that hammer right now.
I think he's just routing it because he's in the area at this point. and it's one of those annoying checks where you're not going to be in this part of the area ever again.
Yeah, he's probably thinking to loop in the pyramid and an early pod check with this as well. There's still a lot of chests you can get to in pod without the... That's an ether medallion. That's almost vanilla. Normally the catfish throws you at you the Quake medallion.
That could be worth. We do have Turtle Rock and Misery Mire crystals.
In Skullwood, Stevia made really nice timing with a wall master there to pick up a full magic vial from the bombable room at the back of the skull, at the back portion of the front of Skullwood, and then just use the wall master to get back to the front again almost instantly. So some good planning there.
It's a nice little optimization.
So it looks like Devia is going to be our first runner to make a dive into a dungeon today, taking a trip to the Thieves' Hideout. So this is just a green pendant. I know green pendant Thieves' Town always seems to have the goods these days, so I don't fault anyone for going in here. There's quite a lot of items you can get. It's not a fast clear. You can do it with a pretty limited inventory, but Devia has quite a good inventory, so he shouldn't have any problems clearing this out if he wants to.
It's also the potential of three big items, like in the entrance. There's no reason not to check this.
Yeah, like the first 4 chests in the front of Thieves' Town are super popular to check, even if you plan on never clearing the dungeon. Well, there's a shroom, so it's a fetch quest here at least. And Devia's out of her.
I don't blame him. We'll see if Leslie actually goes a little deeper, but I don't suspect so.
I mean, we can't actually really clear many dungeons at the moment, so we've got access to Eastern and Pod, but neither of those can be cleared without the bow order.
We've also got access to Swamp.
We can... I think we can clear Swamp, actually.
No damage.
Depends on if you can use the Cane of Samai on the Argus. I don't think it actually works on him.
I don't think the mini Arguses would take damage. And again, I haven't tested it, so I could be wrong.
So we can get it in a bunch of dungeons right now, but we can't actually finish them. We can't clear Desert because we can get in with the book. We cannot light the torches at the back to get to Lamolus. We can't get to the back of Skullwood.
Why can't we do Desert?
Because no lamp. You need a fire source to get to the back of Desert Palace. There's 4 torches which you have to light up to open up the secret wall that's where Lamolus is hiding behind. So
I'm just so used to everyone finding fire rods so super early.
We can get into Ice Palace, but we cannot do anything in there at all because we don't have a way of killing the Feasels in the front. Need the fire rod or the Bomber's medallion for that. No access to Misery Mire or Turtle Rock right now, so I think Thieves' Town is the only dungeon we can actually clear. So Leslie Poe is committing to the dungeon clear here.
Looks like it. Meanwhile, we've got our first person up on Death Mountain. They decided to say screw it and darkroom their way up.
It is a sequence break, but getting up Death Mountain without the lamp is one of the easiest sequence breaks to do in the game. And well worth it, usually, for all the wealth of items you can get up here. Ooh, Devia is going for fake powder here at the Magic Bat.
Ooh, interesting.
Q picks up 10 hours from the race game, whoever just leaves them behind, but he digs them up anyway. Magic Bat curses you with extra bombs.
Bombs! All the bombs.
It looks like Cube is going to go to the blacksmith chain now. It's not a bad choice. He's got the mirror and boots to make it fairly efficient.
He's in the area too.
Leslie Pro is about to pick up the boss in disguise in the basement of Beefstown. I haven't been counting all his items. I don't know if he's well. There's a map, but I don't know if he's picked up the compass yet. He does have a small.
I don't think so.
We'll have to see his menu anyway, because he will need to switch to the Cane of Samaya to actually finish off blind. So we'll see if he's got that compass or not. And if he doesn't have a compass, it is going to depend on what blind drops. If blind drops the compass, there's one more item in Feastown.
Ooh. He has the compass, so that means there's 2 more items in Thieves Town.
Ooh. So Cane of Samaya on blind can be really, really funny if you're doing this in like super low percent mode or like inverted or something crazy like that. But luckily Leslie Pro has a lot of hard containers and defenses available to him, so he's probably not going to have a problem here.
Blind having the hammer would be kind of interesting. Ooh, Hookshot Cave. With a Quack Medallion.
Ooh, Leslie Pro taking a few hits, dips into a blue potion.
Hey, Fisher Price sealed. And the Ice Rod. We finally got some better offense.
Okay. Ice Rod helps you clear Turtle Rock. Unfortunately, it being right outside Turtle Rock, it's something you're always going to get before going in Turtle Rock. So no chance to really throw our runners here.
Not necessarily. I've seen people miss Hookshot Cave when going to Turtle Rock. They just don't think to go do it. They just rush for Turtle Rock first.
Blacksmith chain, mostly useless.
As it usually is.
And Feastown not really turning up anything for Leslie Pro. But he's still got that green medallion to hand in, so, you know, that could be big. Bomber's Tablet is a little piece of love.
It's a tiny piece. A little bit. Well, now everyone's just retracing steps.
Yeah, DV is just picking up his Silvers from Aglim. Really, the only one making new ground here is Days Clouds, because he's picked up that Crate Medallion and the Ice Sword from Death Mountain. But neither of those really help him. We still need bombers, not only to at least get into the part of Ice Palace for now, because you need either the Bombers Medallion or the Fire Rod for that. But he also took a look at Turtle Rock, and it's actually Bombers Medallion to get inside Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that's a bit of a problem.
So he's going to have a poke inside Tower of here. It is another pendant, and considering this is out of sequence right now, well, out of logic, he could be getting needlessly sidetracked here.
Cube coming in with the swamp.
Yeah, pretty reasonable. He can like clear out a huge amount of swamp. The only thing he can't do is the last boss. A lot of items in swamp.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. Green Pendant just unlocks Sahasrara, right?
Yeah.
So, Tower of Hera just said that is a heart piece.
Okay, so Beefstown is, well, the back part of it is a complete bust. Oh, hey, we've got a Hype Cave check, and first hype item is a shovel.
And there's the Bombos. And the lamp.
That is a pretty hype cave.
What did the guy have?
Shovel.
Ooh. That's a nice cave.
Yeah, it kind of puts all that Death Mountain stuff Days Cloud is doing back in logic again. So DV is immediately taking that shovel to check out the dig spot. Bombers at least opens up a dungeon, and it also gets you into Ice Palace, so yeah, it is a pretty useful hype cave. Just a piece of art from the shovel.
And and no longer going deeper into Hera.
He's out of there. This cloud also got a hint that a piece of heart is in Mimic Cave, so won't be seeing that either if our runner's going to Tower of Hera before Turtle Rock. So Devier is immediately taking that lamp over to Death Mountain to now do it. A little behind Dace Cloud here, but hey, he's in Logics.
Yep. And I'll have...
I have never seen that hint before. The magic mirror is in your house, Nupty.
Lol. Devio, I think, is also the only person who... Oh, wait, no, Cube can, too. Who can do any of the torch puzzles in Desert Palace. So, I think they're the only ones who can clear desert. Well, they would be. Except they don't have weapons for it.
So, question, because I've never seen it being used before. Does the Cane of Samaria work on land molars?
On land molars? No idea. I think so.
A bunch of weird stuff does work on land molars. I think even like the Cane of Burner works on them.
I know Ice Rod does.
So Jace Cloud is now doing a bunch of the Dark World checks that our other runners have done because he decides to head straight to Death Mountain. He got a bunch of stuff there, but not really anything that would help him progression-wise at this current point in time.
Yeah, there's not really a lot more progression to go. Right now, they're looking for a weapon.
Right now, I'm thinking Desert Palace or Ice Palace is the play here. You can get in with that book. You can get in with that Bomber's Medallion. You can also get into quite a bit of Turtle Rock thanks to that Bomber's Medallion and Cane of Samaria. But that's pretty nasty. Because like Turtle Rock without the Fire Rod is... I've always compared it to Alice in Wonderland. How deep does the rabbit hole go? Because you've got that Fire Rod. Well, you haven't got that Fire Rod, and you know there's two chests on the right side that you cannot access without the Fire Rod. But if you find a small key, you can go deeper into the rabbit hole that is Turtle Rock. And your small keys can lead you all the way to Laser Bridge, where you might possibly find a Fire Rod, but could well be somewhere else. So it's like a huge, huge gamble. It's personally a gamble I love. I would never play it myself, but I love seeing it. Cube gets his Ether Medallion from Catfish.
I'm surprised Leslie hasn't gotten the hookshot yet. Then again, King's Tomb is a little out of the way, isn't it?
Well, with the boots and the mirror, like, he can do all the checks there in one fell swoop, so it's not really that far of a way. He did check the bumper ledge earlier, so he was very, very close by. Now, speaking of the Turtle Rock type, Devier could actually do that if he wanted, because he is coming up the mountain here with the Bomber's Medallion in tow.
He could at least go in. I don't know how far he'd get.
Now, Chan is actually asking about the weapon required to use medallions. I think it might be the hammer, and to be honest, I'm not sure myself. Normally in the vanilla game, you absolutely need a sword to use the medallions, but I forget if the
I think they replaced it with hammer.
I do, if I remember correctly, there's like a bomber's pad in the front of Ice Palace. So, like, if you want to blow up the Feasels with a bomber's medallion, but you don't have, but you're in Swordless, you can just blow them up anyway because it just lets you use the bomber's medallion right there and only there. So Devia heading into Hookshot Cave, and he's going to get his ice out here. This Cloud is doing Blacksmith Chain. Leslie Post checking out the east part of Dark World, so he has picked up that hookshot from the King's Tomb. It's right there on his item icon, so he's got that now.
Yay.
Hopefully he will think to check out Shahasvala here and pick up a book, and that will put him in pretty good stead.
Yeah. Lunchbox has already been opened, right? So let's hope Leslie finds something interesting in Pod, like maybe that hammer.
Also, I am being, like the hint Abbey said about the Turtle Rock access, I am being a numpty. You cannot get in Turtle Rock without the hammer, because you need to hammer down the pegs to get to the top of Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
So, hammer required. Okay, forget Turtle Rock. But I know, like, in the front of, like, Ice Palace, if you want to dive down to Ice Palace, there's, like, a little bomber's pad there, where you can actually use a bomber's medallion to get inside. So it's not there in the normal vanilla randomizer, of course, or in the vanilla game. But if you go in there in Swordless, there's a little bomber's emblem on the floor, which you can stand on and use your bomber's medallion in that spot.
Fun fact, that actually works in vanilla. It is not just a swordless thing. The only reason the medallion is there on the floor is to remind people that, yes, that is an option.
Right, but the emblem on the floor there is to allow you to use the medallion without actually having a normal means to use it, aka a sword. Because, like, how you use the medallion regularly is that Link holds his sword up in the air and then magic happens. But with no sword, you ain't making the magic happen because you're just going to wave around nothing in the air.
There's no sword, so no using the medallions. Man, that just made Ganon's tower a lot more boring.
So Leslie Poe is taking a trip here into Pod and Eastern. We've seen none of this yet, so a lot of items you can get here. This could turn up the bow or the hammer. But Leslie Poe is going to need both of those if he wants to finish Pod. So it is a big ask to ask of this a big request to make of this dungeon. But he may get lucky. Just have to see.
Potentially. It's like Leslie's the only one really deviating, so I don't know. It's anyone's race still. We're in the exploration phase of the game already. 38 minutes in, and everybody's scrounging for them weapons. They need that hammer. They need the bow. They need a fire rod.
Yep. So we've got to see where Devia goes from here. He still doesn't have that book because he hasn't been over to the eastern area at all. Only Cube and Leslie Poe have that at the moment. All of Desert Palace is open. It's able to be cleared. It's in the back of Shahasvala's hut. Along with half magic.
I feel like a lot of people just sort of they forget about that until they're trying to do Pod.
The Scruff Ninja Tuner, one of our trackers tonight, points out that Leslie Poe, although he bought a potion early, he had to pop it for blind. So the famous potion glitch that you can do in Paths of Darkness to circumvent needing a bow for a couple of chests, he can't do that at the moment. I didn't see him pick up another potion, but he knows he's not going to find Boda anyway, because that would be out of logic, so it's not that bad for him that he's skipping it out. Yes, shout outs to our trackers tonight, Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuner and Mafgirl. They do a lot of work for the Speed Gaming channels in general, and do give them a follow on their Twitch channels if you like. They do a lot.
Yes. Give them all a follow.
Nothing really coming up in pod here for Leslie Pro. He's got one item left, and that's here in the big chest. And it's a map.
And I think I think my brain fried. Heat's too much. Because all I'm thinking is burrito. With extra Diablo sauce.
Leslie Pro's now doing his Eastern Palace clear. Again, he cannot finish this with a bow, but he can check out all the items that could be found pre-Almos Nights.
Vanilla bow?
It is possible. It's nasty, but it's possible. I really got to think that our progression is here over in Desert Palace. I mean, at the very least, it's a Crystal Dungeon, and we can finish it right now with what's available. Hey! Well, there wasn't a bow in Eastern Palace, but there was an hammer.
Hammer time.
So Leslie Pro kind of bonks into the wall in excitement there, and Cube is heading over to the Desert Palace. He can finish it. He won't find his hammer there, but he will find... Well, he may find a bow. We don't know yet. It's probably going to be our first run of our first crystal, though. So, hey, that hammer was available really early on, and nobody's been able to get it. Well, nobody has actually gone for it until 41 minutes, at least on our restream. It looks like DVO is going to be checking out the pod in Eastern Palace himself fairly shortly, so he should be getting his hammer too. But that was a lot of clearing just to get the hammer.
Yeah.
There's one more possible item here, though, that Leslie may turn up. It's a bee in a bottle.
No. Everybody got a bee. Or they gotta get a bottle. This doesn't really help them all that much. Most of them have already done bottle kit, I think.
Both DVO and Days Cloudy are gravitating towards pod. They've got to clear a bunch of pods. They won't really find anything for it. Then they'll go clear a bunch of Eastern Palace, get the hammer, and that will be about all they can do.
Meanwhile, Blue Cane over at Cube Screen. I'd be really nice if blind was required, but nope.
Small key and a torch, so boots required. But luckily those boots were really early.
Super early.
Hello. Leslie Pro is really worried about the item he's left behind in the basement of Thieves Town and is going back to check it. I don't fault him. He knows there's an item here. It could be bow. It could be firewood.
I'd be worried too. There's 2 items down there. Or 1 item. Blind dropped the other item I was thinking about.
Yeah, this is like the one thing you worry about when you do a Thieves Town clear without the hammer, because you leave that one item down there, and it costs you quite a bit of time to go recheck it if you do an early clear. None of our other runners have been further into Thieves Town apart from doing the first 4 chests, so it could still be a long time before any of them also check this out. And Blind did have an item, so they could check out the basement, and then they go kill Blind anyway, so they would still... they take about the same amount of time that Leslie has spent.
Yeah. DVO may have fake powdered, but that still puts him in logic, I would say, because there wasn't anything of value on the powder.
Alright, big chest coming up here for Leslie Pro. What does he find? Flute?
Yeah, that's kind of an important item. Just a little necessary for the end of the run.
So, Pendant Thief's Town actually pays out again. Huh.
That could be a problem for the other runners. Anyone else who's dipped their head into Thieves Town has probably already written it off.
So, we kind of already missed it here, but Leslie Pro immediately mirrored out of Thief's Town, used mirror and activated the flute, so if you almost missed it like he did, get some 07s in chat for the goose is loose.
It's a goose.
So this gives Leslie Pro access to a whole lot. He hasn't picked up that Quake medallion yet, but there's a good chance he'll be able to get into Mizumaya without it, and he can actually clear Mizumaya. So this is really good for him.
Indeed it is.
That looks like Craig to get in for. Ooh. Craig was the front of Hooksock Cave, I think it was, or Paddock's Cave, some in the Death Mountain area, I think.
That's a lot.
Double checks his crystals. He knows he's going to need a Craig medallion to get in. First chest in the Hooksock Cave. Thank you, Scruff Ninja Tuner. Still, thanks to that fluid, he can get up quickly to Death Mountain now, should he so choose. But he's going to get his silver arrows first.
That means everybody has access to silver arrows. Easy Ganon kills.
Star Wars 999. Leslie Pro did a Pendant Beast Town clear early in the game because there weren't that many choices available to him, and there's quite a lot of items he can get in Beast Town. He knew there was an item in the basement after he finished off Blind, and he decided once he found that hammer in Eastern Palace, let's go do that because he wanted to get that one isolated check out of the way and not have to worry about coming back there later. And luckily for him, that was a really, really good find down there.
It really was.
Looks like Leslie Poe's actually going to go to Desert Palace now. So he's going to be the second one of our runners to get in there. Cube got in there first, got first crystal of the race, but he used a book to get in. And Cube is heading into Thieves Town now, but he doesn't have the hammer, so he's going to miss out on that flute. Unless he comes back for it.
The hammer?
The map chest in Eastern Palace, so on the right side.
Ah. I think they'll be fine.
And TV is now clearing out Eastern Palace himself. I think he's picked up the hammer from the right side. And Dace Cloud going for the swamp clear now. A lot of items in here. We're still missing a bow and a fire rod for go mode here. So he's going to the back first to take on Argus, which is pretty reasonable. You often do Argus before checking out the left side.
Yep.
If you find a map and compass, you know the items on the left side. If you don't find them, then hey, you can skip left side entirely. And he's in a really good state to take on Argus too with a hammer, so he's pretty much sorted here. It's also a crystal, so he needs to do this eventually anyway.
Unfortunately, because it's swordless, we're gonna have to do the hammer swap strats, which are super fun. Those
Yeah,
are...
many strats on Argus put the ARG in Argus.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize for that one. That one's acceptable. Argus deserves puns and ridicule.
It's just like a floating squid. He's utterly ridiculous.
I
Well,
think technically he's an octopus.
jellyfish kind of thing, really. But then jellyfish don't have eyes, and he's got like a single eye. And he's not vulnerable to the bow. Like in Zelda games, you have all your creatures with one eye in them. Like, say, like the Igor here up in the top of Desert Palace, which Leslie Poe is walking by. They're vulnerable to the bow because they have a single eye. There's so many enemies in the Zelda series that are vulnerable to the bow because they have a single eye. But not Argus.
Nope.
And technically, you can finish him off with a single silver arrow anyway, but you can kill him with other stuff.
The Argus fight looks like it's going well. We've gotten a Thieves Town cleared from Cube.
Two Argai left for Argus, and because he's down to minimal Argai, he floats a lot faster around, so Dace Cloud is just going for the single kills here with the hook shot and hammer. But he gets her. Now he's in the
Nice.
pretty easy last phase where you just swat him with your rod of choice, and boom, a crystal and a compass is yours. So, items on the left side. I do not think Dace Cloud is going to walk away without checking out that left side.
I think I'll check out the left side.
Yep, he's going back in. Leslie Poe is finally making his visit to Death Mountain, so he's going to get his Craig Medallion and his Ice Rod here. Craig Medallion will allow him to do Mizumaya. And it looks like Cube is finally going to do his long clear or pod in Eastern Palace, where he won't really get anything until the Fae, and which just so happens to be the item he needs, Hammer. Whether he'll use it in the appropriate spots to get the flute is another matter. Could be a long time before that happens. This is like the big advantage Leslie Poe has right now. The basement of the basement of Feast Town is a really nasty place to check if you already cleared it. And it is the case for Cube, so it could be a very, very long time until Cube goes back there to check this one item that takes ages to check, which just so happens to be completely necessary to finish this. It's going to be a bit more convenient for Dace Cloud and Deep here because they've like checked out a bit of Feast Town, but they haven't cleared it. So they may be going back in there to clear it. They'll have their hammers with them, so they will get their flute if they decide to clear. But Leslie Poe really has a big advantage here because going back to Feast Town is not an enticing prospect for any of their runners right now.
More cash on the Ether Tablet.
I mean, wouldn't you like to just read a tablet up on a mountain somewhere and just have cash rain on you from the skies? I think that's a pretty good deal.
Only if it was in dollar bills.
See, I live in England, and around here you get many stone formations on top of hills, like menhirs and such, so hey, I'd totally love to go to Stonehenge and say, hey, there's an inscription here, I'm going to read this, and cash will rain on me from the skies. A hookshot in real life would be pretty nice too. I'd happily take a hookshot falling on my head from the skies. Anyway, left side of swamp here for Days Cloud is nothing.
Nada.
Leslie Poe wasn't able to do this earlier, but Cube's making use of the person glitch to check out the hammerlock side of pod. Of course, once he gets that hammer in Eastern Palace, he could do this. Well, bowlock side, I mean. Still don't know where the bow is.
Didn't somebody find it?
Nope.
No?
We know it's nowhere in Pod or Eastern. It could be... It's not in Swamp Palace, it could be
Look,
somewhere in Mizumaya, it could be in Turtle Rock.
It could be pretty much anywhere outdoors.
Leslie Poe has climbed up Tower Fair, is now taking on Mordorm, because why not? He's a
Doesn't
big
know what else
worm
they
with
can do.
googly eyes. Yeah, he hasn't actually been to Hooksock Cave yet to get that Quake medallion, so he gets a map and a pendant. I guess he just wants to commit to the pendant clear because he's already got one pendant. May want to check out Pedestal later. So, Fire Rod or a bow could be on Pedestal because he can clear out Ice Palace with bombers. It is possible at this point in time. I personally think it's unlikely. I personally reckon the bow is going to be hiding somewhere inside of a rock. And a Fire Rod, not sure really. Probably Mizumai, maybe on the boss or in the big chest. But you know, if you like to get hyped for the pedestal, your hype's got to be getting pretty high at this point.
And it's looking pretty guaranteed.
So DV is also committing to that left side clear, but he's not going to get anything here, but we've got to do it. Those items are missing. They could be anywhere.
They could even be right under your nose. Has Leslie really not been to this cave yet?
No, he entirely skipped down Death Mountain. He hasn't been here until he got that flute.
Alright.
Cube spends time to hammer the hammer chest a little. I mean, it's got to be... I'd be mildly salty too if I'd done all of Pod and all of Eastern and only found a hammer at the last point, after passing by so many other hammer checks. So we're putting an arrow into the seed, and none of our runners really have many crystals yet. DVO has one. Days Cloud has one. They've both cleared out Swamp Palace. Cube has one. And Leslie Poe has one. But he's also got two pendant clears, whereas only Cube also has a pendant clear. You can't say anybody really is in the lead here right now.
No, not really.
You can say that Leslie Poe is in the lead because he's got that flute and he can check out Maya now and get whatever stuff is lurking down there, but he's got a lot of other stuff to check first. And he could even get into Turtle Rock and check that out if he wanted.
Good.
Really got to see what Days Cloud and DVO decide to do after they're done with Desert Pass. Days Cloud finally has cleared the Desert Palace and gotten us the second crystal. And Cube is kind of thinking what to do now. It looks like his Swamp's Palace is going to be the play for him. So Leslie claims his Quake Medallion and Ice Rod from Hookshot Cave. Thinks about checking out Tower of Rock, but decides no thanks. He might be going to Spike Cave. Yeah, he's going to Spike Cave. So this is another new look. Nobody's been here yet, because nobody had a hammer until they got here.
Spike Cave check is a little risky right now. Especially for another
Just
bottle.
bombs. Oh, bombs, actually, not a bottle. Leslie is unleashing a bunch of bees inside his own house, which, honestly, if you let loose bees in your house, they're going to make nests, and you're just going to end up with an infestation. I wouldn't recommend that. Do not release bees inside your house. But he's adding in that mushroom. I don't know if we saw this earlier from anybody else, because everybody has that mushroom. Ah, yeah, it was just bombs. But he does get to stock up his potions, so maybe he's thinking of going to Turtle Rock.
Maybe.
But I'm thinking Mizumar is going to be way more likely for him at this point. He's fluting to Kakariko. Oh, he's going to check the pedestal. Right, so he's cleared out 2 pendants, and before he goes and does another pendant, which would be Ice Palace, he just wants to make sure. Alright, Pad, what have you got for us? Blue Boomerang. That's the first time I've seen Blue Boomerang on there. I've seen the message before. There's like one of the resources for the randomizer shows you all the possible messages that can be on the pad for any item. Including the impossible message where you get the book on the pedestal. So you'll never actually be able to read that message in English, but you'll only get the like Hylian gibberish, but it has its message. So Leslie Poe can clear out this dungeon. He may get the bow here. He's not going to get the fire rod because it has just popped up for Days Cloud here. Nobody's done hammer pegs yet, except for Days Cloud, and he's got a hammer. He's got that fire rod now. So I am thinking bow on laser bridge. It could be down here in Mizumaya, but that would be a little too convenient at this point. So we've got some more menu Argus happening here for Cube, and DVA is actually on his way to Catfish. I don't think he checked this out yet. Catfish had an Ether Medallion. Ether Medallion isn't really useful for anything, but we know it feels like a tracker. That looks good. And Descloud is immediately using that firewall to go clear out Skull Woods. He'll probably do a ped check on his way here too. Like, if you're ever going to check the ped, it's going to be when you're doing a clear of Skull Woods with a mirror in hand, because, like, you just mirror. Oh, when you're at the back entrance, you just mirror, go ahead, check it, find it's a blue boomerang, and back you go. Okay, DVA is taking the much more sensible option here of releasing the bees in somebody else's house. See, if they have, like, bees still flying around stinging the occupants and making nests, it's not your own house. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you've got a bunch of bees in a bottle and you've got to release them somewhere, you know, you could release them outside, but, you know, just release them in somebody else's house. So Cube finishes off Argus and gets his second crystal, but he's missing that flute. Also needs to get over to Hammerpegs and get that fire rod. Our tracker, Scruff Ninja Tune, is telling us there was a hint for Maya somewhere, but I have completely missed it. So we know, well, I don't know, but apparently we know the items that are going to be on the Firelock side of Mizu Maya. The hint was in here? I guess he forgot it then. Some cache is in the Lost Woods. Because, you know, if you're in the back of Maya, you want to know that Lost Woods hint, right? DVO is doing some checks here that he hasn't done yet, such as like the Hobo under bridge for some, which was bombs earlier. Discloud has got his crystal for Mophula.
And Leslie's making short work of that Misery Mire.
Yeah, he has just wasted a bunch of time here in Missing Mire, but checking out the Firelock side. There was a hint out in Palace of Darkness for the Firelock side that said it was useless, but he actually didn't check that, so he spent more time in Missing Mire because of not checking that hint out.
Oof.
But, you know, thanks to that flute, he has got a really good advantage so far. He just has to make use of it. He has cleared out 2 pendants, and neither of those pendants were particularly useful. Of course, the hammer was in the basement of Thieves Town, but Blind himself doesn't give anything. Moldorm obviously doesn't give anything. The pestle is dead, so that's a bunch of time he spent that could have been used more efficiently. But he does have the item advantage for now. It is going to depend on when somebody else goes into the basement of Thieves Town.
Leslie Pro is making a play on the eyeball boss, whose name I forget.
Vitreous.
Vitreous. Can you fight him with what you've got right now?
Yeah, totally. Hammer.
Oh, right.
Like, optimal Vitreous is done with the bow, because like a bunch of wooden arrows would take out the eyeballs and the big eyeball. I think it's like 3 wooden arrows each for each eyeball and 8 for the big eyeball. But with silver arrows, he can just one-shot everything in there.
Yeah.
No bow yet. And we've got both Discloud and Devio. They are both diving into Turtle Rock now. Discloud has that firewall, Devio does not. So this is probably going to be pretty bad for DVO, because Discloud can finish this dungeon right now, and there's no way DVO can. He might get a bow down here, though. That would help him.
Ooh, bomb strats from Leslie. And those did not pay off.
Oh, it takes a death. And he's safe in quitting out of her.
That's. I mean.
That's unfortunate. He
Yeah.
got some like potions from the magic shop, so he could have topped up his health, but he just didn't.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for him. He's going to have to spend more time in Missing Mine now, thanks to that. So, hey, Cube's checking out Hammer Pegs. He's going to get his fire rod. So there was a small key and a big key on the right side of Turtle Rock, so you were immediately blocked from going anywhere in the dungeon without the
Oof.
fire rod. So that's good for Devio. It means he wastes less time in Turtle Rock. Leslie Poe is now doing a final Skullwoods. As Firerunners did this earlier without the fireworks, he's doing the same thing. But luckily for him, the fireworks is really close by, so once he's done here, he can pretty quickly get that firework and then go back in and finish it off. So there is the Bombos pad that I was talking about in the front of Ice Palace there for Devious, so he can actually stand here and use his Bombos medallion, regardless of his other items. So he can put up the Feasel here and get into the rest of Ice Palace.
Hmm.
And there's only one possible item that could be down here that would be of any use to him, and that's a bow. And he doesn't know where the firewood is, so he doesn't know where the flute is either, so he could be spending more time here than is necessary. But we just don't know where the bow is. Unless it pops up here in Turtle Rock, it's still missing.
Hmm.
TV making frivolous use of his magic here to one-shot the Moldorms with a fire rod.
There's worse uses of magic.
He gets a lucky full magic drop from one of the gifters here, so hey, he could spam as many shots as he liked. Oh, Leslie Poe is fluting away from Village of Outcasts, so that file's going to be delayed for him. So we've got some more Mothula action here for Cube. He's mostly sticking to the hammer rather than sniping with a fire rod. And Ace Cloud is on his way to Laser Bridge here in Turtle Rock. So if he doesn't find the bow here, it's not really a loss for him because he kind of have to clear out most of Turtle Rock anyway to finish the dungeon. So he's going to have to go to Laser Bridge because he's still missing a key. And the bow could be there, or it could be anywhere else. Could be on Fiturius, could be down here in Ice Palace. Oh, there's a bug net there in Ice Palace for Devio.
Still no bow. We're running out of places where it can be.
So down here in the Ice Palace, there's another Bomber's with pad to one-shot the Feasels in this room, because you got to kill all the enemies in this room to get the chest here. Is it? Hey, that's a bow!
Huzzah!
So bow in Pendant Ice Palace, and really near the bottom too. Wow.
Oof.
Okay, so all of our runners right now have items other runners need. We are in no mode right now, but all of our other runners are really confused on where to get their stuff.
Yeah.
So DVO has no idea where the fire rod and bow are. Leslie Pro also has no idea where the he has no idea where the fire rod and the flute are. Leslie Pro has no idea where the bow and fire rod are. Cube has no idea where the bow and flute are, and Dace Cloud has no idea where the bow and flute are too. So, wow. We are in no mode, but our runners are missing so much stuff, and it's in so many isolated locations. Honestly, I have no idea who's going to come out on top here right now. Nobody has the advantage. Oh, it looks like Leslie Pro's had a bit of a stream freezer, but he is clearing out Swamp for now. He's not going to get anything in there other than a crystal, but it's something he's got to do. So here, right in the bottom of the Ice Palace here, we've got one last Bombos pad for breaking the ice on Cold Stare. Because if you're coming down here without a Firewall, and the Firewall could be on Cold Stare himself, it is possible. You got to break the ice somehow. And that Bombos pad is waiting right there for you. But, so let's talk about where our item locations are. So the bow is in the Feasel chest near the bottom of the Ice Palace. The Fire Rod is in the Hammer Pegs. The flute is in the basement of Thieves Town, in the big chest. Those are our three items that our runners have basically got one of at the moment, and they're trying to track down the others, and have no idea where. And they're all in kind of isolated locations. I would guess say that Firewood's the easiest one to get because that's just hammer pegs, but the bow is nasty to get. The flute is nasty to get. They're both deep in pendant dungeons. It is really hard to say who is going to go into those pendant dungeons and get their remaining items. So Cube is going to finish off his Turtle Rock just like Dace Cloud did. He's not going to get anything for it, but it's another crystal and he can finish it thanks to that Fire Rod. Dace Cloud is making a good play here. He's going into Ice Palace, so he's going to get that bow. But he's still not going to know where the flute is. I'm not sure what DVO is doing right now. It looks like... is he going to check out the pyramid? We have seen a hint out for that. I believe it was a piece of heart and another piece of heart at the pyramid fair. No, he's not going for that, though. Oh, he's going to... yeah, he's just going to go to Eastern Palace and Palace of Dark to just finish those off now with a bow. He has already checked out Catfish, because... well, no, he hasn't checked out Catfish, because Catfish had Ethan Medallion. So I believe Cube has obviously cleared out Thieves Town, and I believe both Dace Cloud and Devio have done a check of Funfall chests in Thieves Town, but they didn't clear it out. So getting the food for them isn't going to be too hard now because they both got the hammer, and they may think, I got to clear the dungeon because there's still items in there. Hey, here's a hammer. But Bo in Pendant Ice Palace is a nasty prospect for Leslie, Cube, and Dace Cloud. And Devio's got a lot of stuff he can do here without going into back into Pendant Feast Town. So we're kind of going to see runners do a bunch of clearing that the other runners have done, get themselves some crystals, but they're still all of them are tracking down items, and they are going to be running into dead ends. They're going to be checking isolated spots and maybe finding the stuff they need, maybe not finding the stuff they need. It's really going to come down to like who decides I'm going to make this isolated check first. So Leslie Pro he's checking out the left side of Swamp. All of our runners have done that. It's a totally reasonable play to make because there's 2 items over there. But it was entirely useless. But you know, you don't find a hint for it. You got to check it out. And Devio is going to be our first runner to face off against the Helmasaur King. He's got the bow and silver arrow, so once he knocks the mask off here, this would be a really quick kill. One silver arrow, and the Helmasaur is done. So Days Cloud is quite near the Feasel room with the bow in, but it looks like he's going to go downstairs first. I don't recall seeing anything here in Ice Tea. Yeah, it was just a compass. So he's going to go back upstairs and hopefully get over to that west side, do a bomb jump over the pit, and pick up that bow. Right, just got a bomb jump across the pit here. It's not too hard to line yourself up for this bomb jump because the wall and the blocks there makes it pretty convenient to line yourself up. Uses a firewall to run those Feasels, picks up his bow, and Days Cloud now only needs the flute. But that's in the basement of Feast Town, and there's a lot of other places he can go before going back into Feast Town. So advantage goes to Days Cloud for now, because he's only got the 1 item to track down, whereas all of our other runners have got 2 items to track down. In case you've missed it so far, the 3 items that have been eluding our runner so far have been the bow, the fire rod, and the flute. So the bow, as we've seen twice now, is in the Feasel room in the bottom of Ice Palace. The fire rod is in the Hammerpex cave in the Dark World village of Outcasts, and the flute is in the basement of Feast Town in the big chest. A lot of isolated checks here for incredibly necessary items to finish this seed, so it's kind of a case of which of our runners gets to 100% do all the content first before doing the 1 check that they've missed out on. And it looks like now Leslie Pro is going to go down to Ice Palace and hopefully pick up his bow. And then all he will need is the fire rod from Hammerpex. I'm hoping for Leslie Pro's sake that he hasn't forgotten about Hammerpex, because he had done most of the Village of Outcasts earlier. He's also taken a trip into Skull Woods, cleared out the front portion, didn't find anything there. He's also the only one that's been into Misery Mire, and he obviously does nothing in Misery Mire. He didn't get to finish the dungeon, for he took a death on Vitreous. So when he finds that bow here, he will be in a much better state to take on Vitreous, but he's still going to need that fire rod. So Dace Cloud now that bow is going to do the exact same thing that Devio did and clear and finish off Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness. And Devio is going back into the Dark World in the Village of Outcasts portion. So if he goes back into Thieves Town, then he's going to be in a good spot. And actually, the Flutes and Fire Rods are really close to each other. So he hasn't done Hammer Pegs yet. He's probably going to go do that first before going in Thieves Town. Oh no, he's going in Feast Town. Okay. Well, this is great for Devio. So unless he forgets about hammer pegs, he's going to get his flute in here from the basement. Then he's going to get his fire rod. And then he's going to be in go mode. And Kira, on the other hand, is doing a few of the isolated checks that we've seen some of our other runners like Leslie Pro do, such as Spike Cave here. This had nothing, just a few bombs, if I remember correctly. The big risk here for Devio is he could pick up that flute here in Thieves Town and then decide, yep, I've got flute, I am out of here, and go straight to Maya and just forget about hammer pegs entirely. It is really close by Thieves Town for us, so I hope for his sake that he does go for it. So, because none of our other, well, Cube has cleared out blind, but Devio hasn't finished off blind, so he's got a bit more stuff to clear out here first before going into the basement. He may also choose to go take on blind, because it is the green pendant, and Shahrazada could have an item behind the green pendant. We know he doesn't, but the potential is there for in Devio's mind. Leslie Poe picks up his bow, and now all he needs to do is get over to Hammerpeck's cave. Just like Devio. It looked like Leslie Poe was dropping a lot of bombs there on the bow chest. Devio is now equipped with a hammer, and he is going to go take on blind. Right after getting a beautiful flute from this big chest here. Dace Cloud is our second runner to take on the Helmsol King, and Cube is also making his play into Ice Palace, hopefully to pick up his bow. Leslie Poe is still in Ice Palace. I'm not sure if he has checked all the items in here. It's a little bit hard to see his stream right now because he's having a bit of lag issues. Most of it is coming through, but Leslie Poe is our only runner to check out the pedestal, and the pedestal is a blue boomerang, so he knows he doesn't need to take on Cold Stare. I think the last item was actually on Cold Stare, so he hasn't got that fire rod yet, so he needs to go for it. But the fire rod is in hammer pegs. Devio picks up his green pendant, and now he's at pretty significant risk because he's just going to use his mirror here and immediately activate that flute. And then, is he going to go fluting off somewhere, or is he going to go check out hammer pegs? He's not activating the flute, but he's running in a completely different direction. Okay, he's mirroring. Okay, no, he's going to check out pedestal. Right. Or not, nope. No, he's going back. Now, yeah, he almost forgot to activate his flute. Really excited to check out that pedestal, but not yet. So at 1 hour 30 minutes, we finally have our second runner activating a flute. So get your 07s in chat for DVO. And yeah, I think DVO is going to go straight to check the pedestal here rather than go to hammer and pegs, and that's going to be really bad for him. Yep, there he goes. Okay. In more positive news, Cube is about to get his bow here. Cube has no time for anger. He is just heading straight to Cold Stone. Leslie Poe is kind of taking on the Cold Stone right now. He's looking a little low on health, but it's difficult to see how well he's getting on with the Cold Stone puffs. He has got 1 down, so he's in a good spot. 2 down. No matter what you do, Boomerang returns to you. So, yeah, DVO is fluting away, and Hammerpegs is going to be forgotten about for a while longer. So, nope, none of our runners are still in go mode yet. We've been no mode for about 15-20 minutes now, but none of our runners are still in go mode because we've got all these isolated checks and none of them are doing this. Alright, Leslie Poe has finished off Cold Stare. And he's also got to get over to Hammerpegs and get that fire rod. But thanks to the bow, he's going to do what Dace Cloud is doing and finish off Eastern and Paths of Darkness. Question in chat, why is a medallion symbol in Cold Stare's room? So in Swordless mode, you can't normally use a medallion, because the way the game works is you have to have a sword to use the medallion. You raise your sword in the air and magic happens. In Swordless mode, you don't have a sword. So to use a medallion is what the randomized devs have actually put in there, these special bombers pads in Ice Palace, so that you can actually use the bombers medallion to clear out Ice Palace if you don't have the fire rod. It's a way of making sure that even in Swordless, the fire rod can be hidden inside here, but you do have access to it and can clear it out. Right, so we've got a lot of crystals coming in for our runners here. Dace Cloud has gotten his 5th crystal from Eastern Palace, and now he is stuck because he needs a flute. He doesn't have a flute. It's in the basement of Thieves Town. So Dace Cloud is ahead on the crystals right now, but that lack of flute is going to get to him. So he's in the South Dark World. He's not heading in the direction of Thieves Town. He's going in the complete opposite direction. I forget where the hint... We've definitely seen the hint tile for the Pyramid Fairy, and that is just 2 pieces of heart. I think you're thinking of checking it out and inside it. Nope, I've just remembered that hint tile too. It's 2 pieces of heart. Forget that. I'm going elsewhere. So he is heading up to the magic shop. Cube is now back in the Dark World in the Fearless of Outcasts, and he's going into Feast Town now. Okay. So I think Cube is going to sneak it out here and be our first runner in go mode. He's behind quite a few crystals though. He's got to finish off Palace of Darkness and Eastern Palace. So I can't necessarily give the advantage to him just yet, but he is going to be the first one in go mode. It is going to come down to how quickly Dace Cloud or DVO checks out the hammer pegs. Well, the hammer pegs for DVO and the basement of Feast Town for Dazed. For now, Devier is clearing out Mizumaya. And there's nothing in here except for Crystal. Jace Cloud is heading into the Dark World from Kakrika Village. So he's in the right area. But he could decide to go waste time and read his pedestal instead. Because, why not? He's going south though. He's going back into Thieves Town. Okay. But Cube is at first run in go mode at 1 hour 35 minutes. He has that flute. He has the bow, he has the firebolt, he has the flute. He is at first run in go mode. But Days Cloud is going not far behind. Once the Days Cloud gets that flute, they've got quite a bit of a crystal advantage. And it's looking quite likely that Days Cloud is going to be our first run into Ganon's Tower. Got a feel for Leslie Pro and Devia because they've had their flutes quite a bit longer, especially in the case of Leslie Pro. He went into the basement of Thieves Town way before anybody else and got that flute so much earlier. But he just hasn't been to Hammerpegs, and nor has Devia. And Hammerpegs isn't really that far away from Thieves Town as it is. Unfortunately for Leslie Pro, he just didn't go to Hammerpegs. Like, he went back to Thieves Town with a hammer because you have to have a hammer to go get that flute. And the Hammerpegs is right there, but he just didn't check it out, and neither did Devio. So Devio picks up his Mizumaya crystal, but he's still got to go back into... He's still got to finish off Tower Rock and Scarwoods. He cannot do that without the Fire Rod. So... until he gets to Hammerpegs, he is stuck. And Cube, while he has all the items for go mode, he's got a bunch of dungeons to still finish off. Eastern Palace, Palace of Darkness, and Mizumaya itself take time to get to their bosses. Time that, unfortunately, Days Cloud is going to use to his best advantage here because he's heading into the basement. Alright, at 1 hour 37 minutes, Days Cloud is our second runner in go mode. He's also on 6 crystals, so all he has to do now is flute over to Maya and finish it off. Something that Cube is doing, but Cube also has to do Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness. Oh, hey! Devio's going for it. Devio's going for the Hammerpegs. Alright, 1 hour 38. Devio is our third runner in go mode. Now, drops a bomb on the fire rod because there've been a lot of bombs being dropped on these items here. I don't feel they're run. These have been some incredibly isolated items. Oh, imagine if we had to track down a Master Sword on top of all of this to take on Ganon. So, unfortunately for Leslie Pro, he is going to be our last runner in go mode here. He's got to get over to Hammerpegs. Luckily for him, he has finished off Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness, and he's heading into the Dark World from the Kakariko Village portal, so this is good for him. It's also good for him that he also checked out the pedestal earlier, so he's not going to go north, he has to go south here. So even though we're well over 90 minutes deep into Seed, all of our runners have kind of entered into go mode in the same 5-minute gap. That's pretty unusual considering how out of the way all of these items are. Alright, 1 out of 39. Leslie Poe gets his fire rod, drops another bomb on the fire rod, like I think everybody else has done. The rage has been unleashed on this seed. So although Leslie Poe came here earlier, he wasn't able to finish off Cold Stare. DVO has taken on Cold Stare for Silver Hours, and now Cube is doing so too. If I can say early food, Leslie Poe was in Mizumar much earlier than anybody else, but he wasn't able to finish off Vitreous because he went for bomb strats because he had no silver arrows and didn't fancy taking on the Vitreous with a hammer, and took on a really unfortunate death and decides to leave it until later. So he's going for Skullwoods first. Cube still has to go to Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness. Daze Cloud just has to find the big key, which is right there in the chest by the crystal blocks. And once Daze Cloud takes on and beats Vitreous, we can play the Gandalf's Tower big key guessing game. Now, since this is just a daily race, we're not going to be running the official bot for this, but once Daze Cloud has taken on Vitreous and gotten their last crystal, put your guesses in chat for where you think the big key in Gandalf's Tower might be. So I usually go with a guess of 19. I really like it to be in the vanilla chest in in the basement. I don't risk the tower room on any runner at all, but I do love seeing it in the vanilla location. So 19 generally puts it in the vanilla chest, assuming you do the right side of Gan's Tower first before the left side. And considering how nasty this seed has been, yeah, there's a good chance it could still be there. Now, DVO has got 6 crystals, and he did go into Turtle Rock earlier, but he wasn't able to do anything in here because no fire rod, so that didn't cost him too much time, fortunately for him. But clearing out Turtle Rock is quite a lengthy endeavor. It's not really a fun go mode dungeon to do because you've still got a bunch of items you've got to find in here to get keys, to get yourself through doors, and it takes time. So Daze Cloud is going to be in Gan's Tower before DVO has finished off Trinex, unfortunately. Alright, Daze Cloud has their 7th crystal, so get a guess in chat for where you think the big key in Gan's Tower is going to be. Like I said, I'm going with 19. There's 22 possible chests. Don't believe some people who might say there's 26 chests in Gan's Tower. They are lying. Leslie Poe is back in Mizumar, going to take on Vitreous again. Luckily, he doesn't need to do anything else in here. He just needs to go to the back once more. Down goes Helmsor King for Cube, and he's still got to move out of here, go to Eastern Palace. For him, that's just going to be going to the back because he has cleared out all of the front portion. He had to clear out most of the front portion to get that hammer. And then get over to Maya and finish that off. DVO still has to finish off Turtle Rock, and Leslie Pro also has to finish off Mr. Maya and Turtle Rock. But for now, Days Cloud is going to be our first one into Ganstar very shortly. So if you still want to guess where that big key, guessing where that big key is in Ganstar, you've only got a little bit of time left. Alright, Days Cloud is going to the right side first. There's 2 items he can get here. If he finds a key, he's probably going to go further into the right side. He finds a key. And nope, he's going to mirror instead. Okay. Red rupee on the torch. So that's number 3. Four, 5, 6, and 7 coming up here. There's another key. Don't have to worry about the fire torches spitting at you in here, because the sword. That said, if you still dash, the game thinks you've got a sword out, so the pylons there still spit fire at you, because you know they're spiteful like that. Number 8, the fire snake room. Green rupee. I'm trying to get the audio on Days Cloud right now, but it's having a couple of issues switching over. But apparently just have usable audio, so we are trying to switch to it right now. So Cube, like a few people before him, unleashes a load of bees inside the magic shop. We try to chase them out because, you know, they're bees antagonistic like that. I think the track is lagging a bit behind. The track itself is lagging a bit behind because obviously Cube is on his way up to Ganon's Town now. And Days Cloud has picked up his big key. Okay, there we go. So aside from the, you know, lack of sword, we're in a really good position to climb the gauntlet here. Plenty of heart containers, blue mail, and silver arrows. So, the big key today, I believe, was, yeah, chat's saying number 11. So did anybody guess 11 here? Because I think all the guesses were in the higher end of the range. Ooh, Mystic Gaming with 11. Congratulations. You win the opportunity to not run this pretty nasty seed. Of course, if you do want to run it, you can, I believe you can head over to the race channel and grab the seed from there on the Speedruns Live IRC. Of course, you know where everything is, so you might be putting on a much better time, but, you know, it's still nasty. DPO is checking out the right side and finds a mirror shield. Oh, and the single arrow. So a golden shield to go along with that golden Lucario sprite? I think it's Lucario sprite. Making smart use there of a Feasel to one-shot a few enemies while preserving his arrows. And we've got landmines too here. Misses one shot. Ooh, misses two shots. Okay. Okay, 2 cycle landmines too. Not too bad. That's pretty normal. Ooh, slight misplacing use of the Canis Maya there to one-shot all the wizards in this room. It's kind of tricky, actually. You have to just place it in the right spot and activate it at the right time so you one-shot all the wizards, but the conveyor belts can make it a bit tricky if but making additional use of that Canis Burner there to dash through all the red guards in this room and the previous room. I'm still saving a little bit of magic for the torches here. Davio is not too far behind. He's heading into the right direction to get his big key from the famous so-called rando room. It's named the rando room because you only really check it out in randomizer. In the vanilla game, it has a bunch of ammo refills, but it doesn't really help you. And in a no major glitches regular clear of the vanilla game, if you're going for speed, you will probably never be going into that room. So there's a big key for Devia right after after Cube. So they are both heading up to the top of Gan's tab, pretty much equal with each other. So there's a little bit of a race going on between them. And they have got the opportunity to catch up on Days Cloud here if he makes some mistakes. This Mordom 2 can be nasty. He can punch you over into the pit and cause you to lose some time, but Days Cloud manages to take it out. He does not take out the isolated chest because there's really nothing useful that can be there except for maybe red mail, but can skip red mail. It kind of stuns all the mini helmets into one spot. Makes a nice little pile there and then goes upstairs. Alright, Agatu for Days Cloud. Now he's going to use the Bugnet here. Ooh, Bugnet dash strats. Love it. In Swordless mode, you can hit back the projectiles with the hammer, but honestly, the Bugnet's probably a bit easier to use. So question in chat, how does Ganon work in Swordless? Well, you can't hurt Ganon with a sword now, so instead you can use a hammer. And you cannot finish the siege without finding the hammer somewhere, so you always have a hammer going to Ganon, and you can always kill Ganon with the hammer. That said, silver arrows are more or less mandatory in Swordless mode because you can still do like the old spin strats that you can do on Ganon when you only have the Master Sword, where he hits him on the last in the last phase of Ganon, where he's teleporting. You can just about hit him on the last frame before he teleports with a spin. You can also do the same for Hammer, but it is really, really difficult. And most runners would prefer to spend the time getting silver arrows rather than try it out. So Cube finishes off Lamb -2, Devio is starting on it. Days Cloud is taking quite a few Ganon hugs and Trident hits here, so he's got to watch his health. He's in phase 2 now. This is the dangerous phase. These firebats do a lot of damage, and they are difficult to dodge. Oh, Days Cloud takes a hit. He's down to half a heart. One more heart will finish him off. He's going to check his potions. He's got a blue potion. He's safe. Still in phase 2. And depending on Ganon's position in the room, the fire bats can be a lot harder to dodge or a lot easier to dodge. So this bottom left area gets tricky. The top left area, much easier. And given that the hammer hitbox is very small, you can't do many hits on Ganon because you have to get really close to Ganon to do those hits. And getting really close risks a firebat hit or a hug. So Daze Cloud takes a couple of hits. Oh no! Daze Cloud takes a death. He's got no fairy. It's a game over. He's got no... Oh! He's leaving. Daze Cloud has no more potions, so he's going to leave and stock up on potions. This puts Cube and Devio back in the game. They've got the opportunity to catch up here and clinch the race from him. Now, I should point out here, in the IRC channel, nobody has finished yet. So we could be looking at a first place finish here on the restream. Daze Cloud only went to get a fairy from the tree to the south of the pyramid, and now he's going in for another Ganon try. So he's still got a bit of a lead here over Cube and Devio. But if he takes another death, that's going to put him behind more. And he can't take many hits. Oh, so yeah, took a hit from the trident there. And he's down to 2 hearts left. One more hit will finish off Daze Cloud. He's got to play really carefully. Okay, phase 2. This is the dangerous phase. So you can't get many hits in on Ganon, and you have to play really cautiously around these firebats. He's going to go for cape strats here. So if a firebat is looking dangerous for Daze Cloud, he puts on the cape and he goes for some free hits. But he's stuck in the middle here, so if he goes for a hit on Ganon, he gets knocked back. Has to put on the cape again so that he can get away safely. So this is also draining Daze Cloud's magic. He actually grabbed onto the wall there to preserve his magic. The cape has a weird glitch where if you grab onto a wall and pull, you don't drain any magic, but you still retain invincibility. So it's a good way of preserving your magic, but Daze Cloud does want to hold on to the magic here for the last phase. He cannot afford to lose it all. Cube has finished off Aga 2. He's on his way to Ganon himself. I believe he has potions. He is lacking some health though. Oh no! Daze Cloud takes another hit from a fire bat and takes another death. Oh no! But the fairy comes back to save him. Okay, he can go for 2 more hits here from Ganon, but that will finish off Daze. Okay, he's out of phase 2. He's in phase 3 now. But he's got to try and get his torch glitch because he doesn't have too much magic left. Cube is starting his own Ganon try. This fire bat, if it goes off, can be a bit dangerous, but it's not too hard to dodge. But Daze Cloud has to be cautious. Oh, Daze Cloud takes a hit. And both of them are torches cut, so Daze Cloud is going to have to spend 2 bits of magic here to light the torches. I don't think he's going to have enough magic here. He's going for the lamp instead. Okay, this will help preserve his magic, but it's going to be difficult still. 4 silver hours will finish off Ganon. But he only has time for the single hit. Torches go out again. Cube is in phase 2. Devio is starting Ganon in phase 1. And Leslie Poe is about to get a big key in the basement of Ganon's town. Oh, Daze Cloud gets a nice triple hit in on Ganon. So, get your GGs in chat for Daze Cloud for... they are our first restream runner to finish. However, during the time that Daze Cloud has spent on Ganon, we've actually had quite a few people finish the seed now. So, in first place was Shire with a time of 1 hour 56 and 45 seconds, followed up by Hacksaw, Saltify, and Matt7898. So Daze Cloud finishes overall in 5th place with an official SLR time of 1 hour 59 minutes 44 seconds. Get your GGs in chat for Days Cloud. Oh, now it looks like so we've got a lot of frantic Ganon action going on here. Cube, it looks like Cube took a death and went down to get a fairy and is going back in on Ganon. Diva is still taking on Ganon himself, and he's taking a lot of hits. We're going to get we're going to get Days Cloud in for an interview shortly if his mic works, but there's a lot of action going on here, so might delay it a little bit whilst all of this is happening. Okay, Diva is in phase 3, whilst Cube is starting phase 2 of Ganon again. Yes. Okay, so Diva has a lot of magic left, and he's in one of the safer phases now, so as long as he gets his hits in quickly, he won't be releasing any fire bats, and he should get this down safely. I don't know how many potions he has got left, though, or if he's got a fairy. Cube, I think, went for the fairy restore from the tree, but he hasn't got any more saved up, so he's still got to play cautiously around phase 2. Oh, we have got Days Cloud here now in the entry booth, so GG Days Cloud.
Hey, bud.
So,
You guys hear me?
yes, we're hearing you loud and clear. So, the flute in the basement of Thieves Town, what were your thoughts upon finding that?
Just at that point, I was just going, okay, I've last locationed, don't even know, 4 or 5 things. I'm thinking that it's just, of course, it's going to just be in the worst possible location, and I just kind of, just when it was there, I was just like, all right, yeah, sure. It's either here or the ether tablet, because it was pretty much the last place it could be. And in fight, though, that cost me a good 4 places.
Yeah, the thing I was observing on all of our restream runners here was items being lost locations really brutally. Like, this was a perfect seed to, if you've got an item that can possibly troll you in a lost location, it's going to be in one of these spots. So, I think he got the fire rod and the bow way ahead of everybody else, so which gave you the advantage here.
That's good. I mean, it was that was mostly because, you know, the hammer was in, which, I mean, I'm not going to go there if you give me, like, immediate Dark World access. I'm not going to go there. So, I ended up, that was pretty much the last place it could be outside of what I was kind of considering at that point. I was going, do I just jump into ice without the hammer? The game kind of feels like it's telling me that, but I didn't want to. But if I had, I would have been able to easily full clear both Pod and Eastern without any problem. But it is what it is.
It is actually pretty crazy how late everybody on the restream got their hammers, because this was an item available like straight away from the start of the seed. All you need to do was head over to Eastern, clear it a little, and get a hammer. It wasn't even blocked in logic by the lamp.
Yeah, no, it was sitting right there for everybody to get in Spear 0, and yeah, I don't think anybody probably went to get it. I'd be curious to see some of the other runners that weren't on the restream if anybody went to Eastern early. I'm gonna have to hop over into the chat, into the spoiler chat, and see about that.
I think DVO was actually the first of our restream runners to get the hammer. Leslie Pro was the first one to get the flute. They got it way before anybody else, because actually no, Leslie Pro was the first to get the hammer, because when they got the hammer, they headed straight over to Thieves Town and check out the item before anything else. So they got the flute much earlier. They just put off the fire rod forever and ever. Oh, and we have Cube in chat too. GG Cube.
Oh, GG guys.
So like I was saying to Days Cloud, there were a selection of 3 items here that were basically putting everybody else, making everybody else go around in circles trying to find them. For you, that was obviously the fire rod and the hammer pegs.
Yeah, the hammer was worse. It really took me a long time to find that, which is a big problem in this mode.
Yeah, and the hammer, of course, blocks the flute in Thieves Town, and
Yes.
the fire rod itself.
Yeah, looking back, I'm not even sure how much faster I would have been if I had found it first, because I think if I have the flute earlier, it probably takes me a really long time to get to the bow. Like, I'm probably still last locationing that. But I wouldn't have had to do 3 Thieves Down 3 times, so probably still better.
Yeah, I don't think anybody here has done a single dip of Thieves Town just to clear it out and get the hammer. It's been a pretty nasty well, not a nasty Thieves Town, but a really inconvenient pendant Thieves Town. You think it's a pendant Thieves Town that doesn't have an item for once, but nope, still has an item.
Yeah, this seed
No,
was
I
a
did the first
spicy
4.
meatball.
And we're joined by Devio too in chat, so GG, Devio.
Oh, thank you very much. That was something.
So, aside from like the bow, the fire rod, and the flute all making you guys go in circles, how much experience do you guys have with Swordless in general? How, because your Ganon fights, all in general, had some difficulties. There were a couple of deaths and difficulties with dodging the fire bats and taking Ganon hugs. So I just want to like know your experience of Swordless and taking on Ganon.
I've done it some. My strategy for the first one was actually to just damage boost it. But what got me in trouble was I missed right at the end there, and then the fire bats came out, and that was a disaster.
My idea for it was basically, I just wanted to see it over with, so I just went into full-on smash mode. Just don't care. Just use potions, whatever. Get it over with.
I've done Swordless a few times, and it just the hitbox is just awkward at best.
That's the thing.
I just kind of walked up and tried and hit him a few times. The first time I hit him, I ended up taking a hug, and that put me in a bad shape. So I ended up taking a death and running down, getting a fairy, and just saying, "Okay, let's be more careful next time."
Yeah, when usually I've actually done quite a bit of Swordless. The problem is usually Ganon will at some point teleport to the upper right, because it's kind of difficult to get hits on him, very consistently, unless you know exactly what the hammer's hitbox is, which is very weird. But if he goes like to the upper right, you can just hit him on the head all you can, and really once that happens, it's end of that phase 2. But that didn't happen here.
Do that for me.
No, he didn't do it for me either. That's why I was just like, you know what? I'll just use a potion. Just hit him on the head a bunch. I don't care.
All right, well, GG guys. I think I'm gonna take off. Thanks for the restream, everybody. Thanks to the trackers. Yeah. Thanks for everything.
Thank you too, Dace, for an excellent race.
Man, I was so expecting Fire Rod to be on the pedestal.
We did have to have a couple of pet checks, actually. It was actually the blue boomerang over there.
Yeah, I checked it just to make sure that I wasn't losing my mind. And then when I saw that it was the blue boomerang, I'm like, oh, okay, I need to remember what I skipped. Because I don't remember skipping anything. And while in Misery Mire, it finally came to me, oh yeah, the hammer pegs. Because obviously I didn't have the hammer when I did that, so...
Yeah, it was a pretty terrifying walk back down to that flute as the actual last location. Because this would be the time where I just straight up forgot to do something.
I was super worried in chat that one of you would go down into Thieves Town with a hammer, get the flute, and activate the flute, and then immediately flute away and forget about hammer pegs. And I forget who it was, but it kind of almost it kind of almost happened. I think it was Cube that went over to almost check the pedestal and then think, oh no, I've actually got to go activate flute and check hammer pegs first.
No, I had the fire rod before the flute by quite a lot, like at least half an hour.
Ah, right, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I definitely went to check the pedestal and then remembered, oh yeah, I need to activate the flute, but then I forgot about the hammer pegs at that point because I didn't make a mental note of it. Like everything else, like hobo, like everything else that I skipped on purpose, I had like I was keeping count of all that stuff and to come back to it later, and just like every check, I couldn't believe I still had 3 items to go when there were like 5 locations left or something. It was driving me like mad.
So, as well as this being a Swordless seed, this was like a really, really long seed in general. So aside from like obviously the big 3 items, the bow, the hammer, and the fire rods, like was there anything else that really troubled you? Like the boots early on was a super great find, and the mirror too.
I was very happy that I got a bomb drop at the last possible moment in Escape.
Yeah, to the guy that asked if it was standard or open, and I told him it was open, I'm sorry.
I thought it was open too, and then I'm like, wait a second, did I do a wrong thing? And then, oh yeah, okay, that's just what the bot does or whatever when you roll a Swordless.
I think everybody thought it was open. I think it was actually said in the IC that it was going to be open Swordless. It wasn't. But yeah, Leslie Pro was like farming a lot of guards in the early portion of Escape to try and get a bomb drop, and he ended up getting a bunch of bomb drops in the basements. I think he had like a 4 bomb drop into an 8 bomb drop, and other people were farming the rats in the top right corner of the water part of the sewers, where you get a bunch of rats running around in the corner there, and you can kill a bunch all in one go. And yeah, like you mentioned, one bomb drop was from the very first last bit of magic you could possibly use in Escape.
Yeah, I ran out of magic just as I got a bomb drop, so that was fun.
And in fact, the flippers were in the back of Escape, so that could have, if somebody missed on that bomb drop, that could have like eluded them for quite a long time.
Yeah, I was very happy once getting the flippers and like, okay, I didn't lose time here at least.
Yeah, Swamp Palace was a crystal. There was nothing in Swamp Palace. There was a bow and ice palace, but you could always fake flip over there if necessary. But Swamp Palace was a crystal, so flippers necessary either way.
Yeah, this was. There were 2 required items in 2 of the pendant dungeons. The other pendant dungeon had garbage.
It did have a few useful hint tiles, like say, I think it had the hint tile for the Pyramid Fairy being useless, 2 pieces of heart.
Oh, that was helpful. Yeah, the west side of Mire was another one that was helpful. Some other stuff, I think, but.
I don't think we ever saw a left side swamper, and everybody checked out left side swamp for items and found nothing.
Yeah, that was that was a lot of desperation because it was like you had to find something, and there was just like a big swath, at least for me, in the middle, like an hour where just nothing happened. Nothing like after clearing out Eastern and Pod and like getting important items, but not being able to clear because I didn't have the bow. It was like just an absolute drought until I decided to go into ice, and that just gave the bow, which didn't really open up anything.
So our last V-Stream runner has finished. Leslie Pro has taken out Ganon and finishing in 11th place with a personal best time of 2 hours, 19 minutes and 11 seconds. So GG to Leslie Pro. And I can see him waiting there in the interview booth, so we'll bring him in here shortly.
All right, I'm gonna get going. I have stuff that I need to do. So thanks to the commentators, the restreamer, and the trackers. It was a lot of fun despite everything, and glad to get some Swordless in there every once in a while.
Yeah, I'll also get out of the way. Thanks, right, everybody, for putting this on, and thanks to the viewers for showing up to watch. None of this happens without you guys.
And thank both of you for putting on an excellent race.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Yep, take it easy.
Alright, GG Leslie Pro. Hey, personal best time. Congratulations on that.
Thanks, although I'm not sure how in the blue heck that was a race PB, because the way that seed was routed, that could have been done so much faster, and I know it. Because my routing was off, my execution on bosses was a bit off. That was just a train wreck that unfolded in front of your very eyes, basically.
Honestly, I think it was a train wreck for everybody. Our first place finisher had a time of 1 hour 56:45. That is unusually slow for Swordless.
Oh, then again, this seed was unbeastly slow. What happened with that seed is I went Thieves Town without Hammer. That was actually my first time being blind with the Cane of Samaria. When I find Hammer, I'm thinking to myself, oh no, there's something in Thieves Town. I need to go back there. And sure enough, something was there, because I figured if I didn't do that right away, that was getting put off for a while, and that would have haunted me big time.
Oh, absolutely. I think he got that flute at about an hour into the seed, and everybody else got their flutes at like 30, 40 minutes later. It was pretty crazy to see everybody just like last location, the fire rod, or the bow, or the flute.
Yeah, I basically last location both the bow and the fire rod, and I wasn't appreciative of digging it out of Cold Stare's den either. Then again, I don't think anybody was.
Yeah, so he had like the flute way ahead of everybody else, but it's just like the fire rod was so close to the flute too, and unfortunately he just put that at the back of your mind. But he wasn't the only one who did that. I think it's hard to remember that, but I think DVO also lost location to the fire rod, same as you. He got the flute and then put off Hammerpeck Caves for a bit. We definitely had a few more pedestal checks like you, so honestly, this seed had everybody running out everywhere trying to find all these isolated items so that they can progress further. The hammer blocked everything. The hammer could have been found so early on, and nobody got it until like 45 minutes in.
Yeah, that certainly was a weird place for that, but as soon as I found that, because the way that seed was started out, it's like, okay, we can group locations in, let's try and go for that. That worked out great. Especially for that fire rod, because if I wasn't thinking of grouping in Smith Chain with that, then I would have gone for that much sooner. But I was thinking, okay, let's maximize locations per minute here as best we can and go from there. That just didn't work out this time.
So, like, obviously this was a personal best for you, so congrats on that again. But he did have a bit of trouble with the bosses, but to be honest, everybody had a bit of trouble here with Ganon. So have you been like practicing Swordless much? Are you hoping to get better at it? Maybe improve that time further?
Now, improving that time is certainly not out of the question, I'll say that much. I picked that up in the last tournament in group stage because Zyrax, who was in my group, picked that for a match, so I started practicing the bosses, and well, it sort of stuck with me as something that I can definitely do if necessary. Because I will say this, between my last Swordless run and this one, my Trinex fight was night and day a heck of a lot better. And I will gladly take that, because that was the one that gave me trouble last time.
Hammer hitbox is a tricky beast. I've never run Swordless myself, but I've had to use a hammer sometimes on some bosses where I haven't had a sword, and it's awkward, so awkward to get used to, especially if you're hitting things from the downwards position up to the upwards of the link.
Yeah, there are a number of enemies where, depending on how you're facing, that can really screw up the hitbox. I'm not sure of the specifics on that, but there's some enemies where you can be facing one direction, you're fine, and another direction in a complete 180, it's a different story. And on a side note, for some reason, using Ice Rod and Hammer in that direction has worked better for me against Trinex, so that's why I've stuck with it. Even though it's weird, if it works, I'm running with it.
So, GG once again to you, and I think we're going to wrap things up here pretty shortly. So, great race by every one of you.
Oh yeah.
And the last part in Gan's tab between Dazed and especially Cube and Devio was like they were so close together, and Dazed took a couple of deaths on Ganon. I think he had one death on Ganon or 2 deaths, but Dazed took 2 deaths himself. So you weren't like doing. You were doing pretty okay as far as Ganon goes compared to our other restream run. It's just those items kind of eluded you for a bit.
Items were the thing. It was 1 death to Ganon and another death elsewhere in the seed. Yeah, it was Vitreous that I died to, which was frustrating. But anyway, GG to you guys. Thanks for the commentary. Thanks for featuring me on Restream. And when I get my voice back, I'll be jumping back into commentary for some of these.
Hope to see you race again and hear you commentate again soon.
Thanks, GG. Thanks, Speed Gaming, for doing this. You guys have a good night. Take care.
So I want to thank my other co-commentator tonight, Drake Tempest. Unfortunately, where he's living, there's a serious heat and humidity wave going through, and he had to duck out like halfway through because of heat exhaustion. He wasn't able to carry on, but I want to thank him for helping out. Also want to thank our 2 trackers, Mathgale and Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuner, for helping track tonight and keep us comms on track. Thanks to Speed Gaming. Thanks to Feasel, who decided, yeah, let's go for Swordless Seed today and put this item and this item and this item in horrible locations and put on a really good race. So also Scruff Ninja Tuning is linking in chat. We've also got Speed Gaming Live coming up on October 24th and 27th in the Washington DC area. That's something I will have to miss out on myself because I live in the wrong country. But if you're in the area or you want to take part, do check out the links there. We've got a link to the Speed Gaming site and a Discord link too. So check it out if you want. Otherwise, do check out our other channels. We obviously have more daily races happening tomorrow on the Speed Gaming channels, and we've also got tournaments going on like Super Metroid's Double Anti Bingo, the Final Fantasy 1 PSP tournament, and many more besides. So do feel free to check this out, and I'll see you in the next race. Thanks for watching.